Walgreens and they had some Power Rangers figures, and I found this Rita Repulsa, which is horrifying. Her crazy breasts, weird proportions, and monkey face that looks like it doesn't fit the neck. Blech.
63, and I'm Gazbot, and this is 100 Days of Making Comics. I'm back. Yes, day 63 of 100 Days of Making Comics, and I am Gazbot. Well, what is happening today? Worked on some comics. Worked on my own comics, but also worked on some client work and some other stuff. Kind of had a busy work day. Worked on some Kid Switch stuff, which is the comic I'm working on as the penciler, inker, and colorist. And I also did a lot of housekeeping, business stuff, like the kind of stuff that I'm not a huge fan of, being self-employed. But occasionally you have to do, and some days it's heavier than others. And I probably spent a good 2 hours this morning just responding to emails, sending out contracts, signing contracts, collecting deposits, sending things out, you know, to finish up paperwork on jobs that have been done, to collect money on jobs that have been done, to finalize agreements for jobs that are about to begin, to give milestones for jobs that are in progress, to confirm or deny the possibility of a new job starting, etc. So that was a good chunk of my morning, afternoon. Actually, and that was actually the second thing I did. The first thing I did, I took my cat to the vet for a checkup, and it went good. On the way home, I decided to stop at Taco Bell breakfast, which, from what I understand, is like a limited time, not a limited time, but a limited distribution where they're trying it at a few Taco Bells and see how well it does. I've used it, I don't know, 4 or 5 times in the last couple months, so judging by me, it should be a success, I guess. But anyway, I went in and got my Taco Bell, came out, and my cat Rocky, who I took to the vet, was in his little carrier case, and I just left him in the car. I wouldn't normally do that, but I was in there for like 2 seconds, and it's not super hot or super cold here. It was very moderate and fine. But when I came back in, I saw him, I'm on the driver's side, and he's over here with his little kitty face in the thing, and he looks up like, hey, what's going on? You know, and I go, hey, buddy, it's okay. And I smashed myself in the face with the door. Now, it seems like it shouldn't have hurt that much, and I kind of shocked myself how much it hurt. Because you would think that I'm kind of like, you know, moving 2 miles an hour, dunk, oh, ha, ha, ha. And we've all done stupid stuff like that. But I guess because I was focusing on my cat so much, I wasn't even looking at the door, and I opened it kind of like, you know? And the metal part right on the edge cracked me right here. And I went, oh, and it was so shocking that my first thought wasn't, oh man, I hit myself through the door. I was like, what happened? What hit me? Did some piece of metal fall out of the sky? Am I being mugged? Like, it was just shocking. And then as I started going like this, oh, I saw the door clunk, you know, I'm like, oh, I hit myself with the door. I'm an idiot. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm an idiot. And then the pain hit me, and I was kind of like, oh, I gotta take a knee. Oh, man. And it's like, throb, throb, throb. And I'm aware there's probably people inside Taco Bell laughing their asses off at this guy who's just like, crack, floor. You know, and so I got over it a little bit, got in the car and kind of pulled myself together and drove home. But it really hurt. It's still sore. Like, there's a bit of a bump. You probably can't see it. It's just a little bit of a red bump. But I mean, that was this morning. And it's, you know, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night now. So that was almost 12 hours ago. So clearly I did a good job on that. Or a bad job, I guess. Well, after that I did all the business, housekeeping stuff I talked about. Then I worked on some Kid Switch and a few other job stuff, some coloring for Earthling, getting some flats done. Then finally I had time to work on the horror, which I just got done doing for an hour. Not 2 hours, more than a half hour, an hour. And it's kind of a bummer because I felt like yesterday I hit 2 hours again. I'm going to try to keep that up, and I'm feeling the momentum. You know, I did that panel yesterday I was pretty happy with. I did 2 panels today to finish off that page. Didn't do a process video, but I'll throw up the 2 panels right here. They're sequential. They're almost the exact same panel. So here's that! There that was. So that's what I did today. I also tweaked the face on Boots in the 5th panel, which I shouldn't because, you know, I'm going to fix it later, but I couldn't, it looked too bad. So now the whole page is done, so I'll throw that up. And these are the roughs, but pretty much they're rough pencils at this point. I'll probably ink from this. Beep, beep, beep. Bop, bop, bop. So that was that. So that was my work day, about an hour. Feels good every time I get a page done, and having got that first panel nailed so well, the rest of it was kind of cake. Tomorrow I will start the roughs for the next page, which now I'm losing track if it's page 6 or 7. But progress. And ever since I've gotten the writing done, I feel like it's really been clicking along. And, I'm getting some hangups on a couple panels, but, it's such a visible progress to be like, this page is done being roughed. This half page is done being roughed. Even a panel being roughed. It's like, well, this is tangible evidence that the comic is getting created versus conceptual designs or scripting or things that are more esoteric. I could theoretically show people, oh, well, here's the first couple pages, and they could kind of see the story, and, so that's good. I've been taking more jobs lately, and I think I took another job today, and I think I just reached the critical, I want to say critical mass, but that sounds negative, like, oh, too much. And it's not too much, but it's like right at that tipping point where I took that job, and I think I was like sort of like, and my free time and my availability to work on the horror and things like that, for a while I had a lot of it. So this was my workload, this was the horror, and I was like, yeah, I got plenty of time. And then I've been taking a few more jobs, and a few more things have been happening, and I feel like I was about here. And then I took that job today, and I went, and it's like, oh man, if I take one more job, I'm going to start having to stay up all night. I'm going to start having to, like, not spend any time with my wife and just, work from the second I wake up to go to bed. So luckily I was aware of this. And I'm like, again, I'm not complaining. I like having work, and I'm happy with the amount of work I have. But I became aware when I took this job today, right after I took it, I'm like, let me really look at my schedule. Let me really see how much work I have on my plate. And when I did, I said, okay, no more work until March, at probably the end of March, because I'm going to Japan in March. So basically, no more work until after I get back from Japan, and because I have to finish all the work I have now before I go to Japan, and I don't plan on doing work in Japan. I mean, maybe conceptual work or doodles in a sketchbook, but certainly not client work. But all this is a long-winded way of saying I'm happy with the amount of work I have, but I am not taking any more. I have to not take any more. Although a friend of mine did contact me about another job that I might take. So anyway, that's like, I feel like every artist has that conversation. Every freelance artist anyway. I'm like, no more work. Well, but, okay, this one, but no more, But, so that's that. The other thing is yesterday was a weekend. I was happy with the work I got done, and I did treat myself to doing a toy review, which I put up. It's for Power Ranger Keys. I know most of you watching this might not be interested in that aspect of my channel, but, I got to plug it a little bit anyway, and it's something I did yesterday, again, as like sort of a treat for myself, because I just enjoy doing them. And so I will put a link here. I'll put up a photo of the Ranger Keys I previewed, and the link will be there to click. So here's that. That was the Ranger Keys. So yeah, that's the end of my day. I don't know the words or the dance, but that's the Dollar Mini dance, otherwise known as the Draenei dance from World of Warcraft. Day 63, and that means...
My darling, look at me. Listen, we have limited time. Only 37 days left. Don't leave me. She left me.